Hi guys, welcome to Lexing Consulting's YouTube TV. Today we talk about risk management process. This process differs from company to company, but one of the key things that you want to do when you're doing risk management process is to identify your risks. Whatever you're introducing, whether you're introducing a new piece of software, you want to identify what risk that will introduce. So identify the risk, measure and estimate the risk, and evaluate the effect of the risk. That's important, obviously. If you're going to put in a new application that's going to give access to the rest of the world, to your resources, then you evaluate what is at stake. And also, when you find a risk, you can trade the risk. You can change that risk and maybe um, buy insurance. Cyber insurance is something that people buy to transfer risk, or you could outsource. So, say for instance, if instead of having that application internally built in your organization, you could have that application built um, by some other vendor, a third party vendor. So those are ideas when you've identified your risk. Either measure and estimate the risk and evaluate the effects, or trade your risk to a third party in that regard. And then after you've done all that, you want to go down to risk mitigation. What is risk mitigation? Is where you address your risks. How am I going to address my risks? I can either avoid them and just say, hey, the risk is not as high as the amount of money that I'm going to spend to fix this risk. You can keep the risk and just say, hey, this is acceptable risk. This is not something that we need to lose our heads over. And you can mitigate the risk, which is you can put controls in place to prevent that risk. So, say for instance, if it's a public facing website, so there you go, you put your firewall in front of it. You put your web application firewall, which monitors for SQL scripting, monitors uh, uh, for cross-site scripting and SQL injection, and then of course the transfer aspect, which is by cyber insurance. And just say, hey, I'm not gonna spend any more time on this. I'm gonna deal with it and just buy cyber insurance to protect me, or I'm just going to transfer this risk and have somebody else build my site for me and host it for me and let them deal with that headache. And then after that, after the risk mitigation process, you go into evaluating the results. So this is a cyclical process that you want to come back every so often after you've made a decision on what risk mitigation option you're going for. So you want to evaluate the results. All right, the controls that I have in place, whether it's keeping, avoiding, mitigation, or transference. What kind of results am I getting from this? Is it effective? Is it achieving what I wanted to achieve? And you want to come back to evaluating the results. And if it's not, go back to risk mitigation, decide maybe instead of avoiding the risk, mitigate the risk yourself. Instead of transferring the risk, you handle the risk yourself. So this is a risk management process. It differs from company to company, but key things: identify the risk, evaluate the risk, mitigate the risk, evaluate the results. All right. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day.